natural gas, wind, water, solar, nuclear, industries of energy.
We've got fantastic opportunities to use new technologies to secure the American people and at the same time be better stewards of the environment.
You have questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
And a very, very good Thursday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Exploring Energy Radio Show as we're flying through this month of December. Here's what's on the menu. On Bingo Thursday, by the way, at the Elk City Meals on Wheels location, 1510 West 9th Street there in Fairview Village. You can call in your order, 225-5821. You got to show up to play bingo, however. Dining room hours 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. Regular meals $8, senior citizens meals $7. Everyone is welcome. Virginia, I know you're listening. Here it is. Today, taco soup, tortilla chips, salsa, cheese cubes, and apricots. That's what's on the menu today. Taco soup, tortilla chips, salsa, cheese cubes, and apricots. And it is Bingo Thursday today at Elk City Meals on Wheels. Is that right? No, I better back up. I'm a week late. I'm going to jump back. It is not Bingo Thursday. That's the first Thursday of the month. Sloppy Joe's, tater tots, green beans, and cherry fluff. That's what's on the menu. Yeah, I'm going to back up again. Here we go. Sloppy Joe's, tater tots, green beans, and cherry fluff. That's what's on the menu this Thursday, December the 11th. That was all the way back to the 4th. Can't digress, dadgummit. Anyway. So, today, Sloppy Joe's, tater tots, green beans, cherry fluff at Meals on Wheels. Throw them a few extra bucks if you can. Eat there as often as you can just to help that great organization out. Free books delivered to you by the Friends of the Carnegie Library. It's the Carnegie Caravan, bringing free books to you in the Elk City area. And if you're having trouble reading regular print, ask them about their free program that can help. Call 225-0136, 225-0136. It's free books from the Carnegie Library. And the Elk City Chamber of Commerce reminding everyone it's Christmas in the Park. Activities every Friday and Saturday night from 6 to 9 p.m. all the way through, the weekend before Christmas, the 19th and 20th. All kinds of things going on there. So nighttime miniature golf. They've got the double-decker bus, Santa and Mrs. Claus, the Candy Cane Express train, Centennial Carousel, Holly Jolly Trolley, and the Cub Scouts with their annual hot chocolate. That's all going on right now. Plus, the lights are really, really pretty. So get on down there and check that out. Horse-drawn carriage rides as well. That's all at Elk City's Christmas in the Park. Next week in Elk City, December 17th, they're having a ribbon-cutting ceremony for dedicating the new Elk City Airport Terminal and Hangar at 101 Norman Martin Boulevard, right here on the east side of Elk City. You can't miss it. Got the Korean jet out front on the post. So that's 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, December the 17th. Everyone invited to that ribbon cutting. There'll be a lot of dignitaries there. And we're glad to have that airport. They can land some really good-sized planes here that they used to couldn't because they've extended that runway and done a lot of work. But that terminal, it was definitely needing some updating, and they got it. So how about that neighbor, teacher, volunteer, somebody you know that always shows up? You can nominate them for Santa's Christmas Hero at KECOFM.com. Think of that selfless person who's always helping. $250 prize package on the line for these people. If you nominate them and they are chosen, then they will get a $250 prize pack from one of our great sponsors. Go to KECOFM.com. Tell us their story. Let us highlight those people that make a difference in our community to you, me, and everybody else. So fantastic. Looking forward to starting to get those. There are going to be pictures on our Facebook. There'll be videos. There'll be pictures in our Penny News. So pretty big deal. It is Christmas time, the time of giving. Let's give back to those who are always giving. Here's some energy stock prices to start the day, and they're all down a little bit. West Texas Intermediate on the New York Mercantile Exchange is down 82 cents to $57.64 a barrel. December contract there. Brent crude oil, the ICE Futures Exchange out of London, down 87 cents, trading at $61.34 a barrel. That's a January contract in London. Tocom crude oil in Japan out of Tokyo, down 350 yen per kiloliter on a November contract. That's crazy that they're still trading on a November contract and it's December. So maybe they're like me on the Meals on Wheels deal. I'm sure that is a November contract. But New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas down 17 cents, but trading at $4.43 per million BTU. RBOB gasoline down $1.67 to $176.48 on December contract. Heating oil also on a December contract, trading down $4 to $223.30. Gas oil down $5, trading at $648 even per metric ton. Those are all out of the New York Mercantile Exchange on the refined products. Okay, well, the crude oil prices went up yesterday for just a skosh because of the interest rate cut. The Fed dropped interest rate by a quarter point, 0.25%. So that and concerns remained about too much oil globally as U.S. production was on track for a record. At the same time, crude oil inventories in the U.S. fell 1.8 million barrels during the week ending December 5th, according to data released by the U.S. Energy Information Administration. That decrease brings, commercial stockpiles to 425.7 million barrels. That's a decrease of commercial stockpiles. So barrels, according to the government data, which is 4% below the 5-year average for this same time of year. So we're going to continue to see the oil and gas prices go up and down. The energy outlook by some of the pundits are saying that, they really feel like that the oil is going to get down to around $65 a barrel here in this year and early next year, first quarter of 2026. Like I said, so many things, geopolitical pressures make a difference on the oil and gas prices, but still that natural gas prices is really good. The data centers, top of the mind, they're really right on us here in Oklahoma, especially. So the Sand Springs data center project is delayed after pushback. The developer who wants to build a data center in Sand Springs has, delayed efforts because residents raised concerns and voiced strong opposition. Known as Project Spring. Now, this is an 827-acre data center proposed by White Rose Partners. Is temporarily on hold as Sand Springs city officials wait for more information. City manager Mike Carter told Fox 23 News the project had been scheduled for consideration at the December 3rd city council meeting, but the presentation and discussion were postponed when the developer requested a delay. And I quote, "We are in a holding pattern, waiting for the developer to give us more information," Carter said. They did intend on going forward in December for approval of this. The information that the city needed to make an accurate decision in the citizens' best interest. We didn't have that information, so we've asked them to go back and develop that information, get it to us so our council could share it with the general public the best way possible. We talked about it. We're going to continue to talk about it because it's a big deal. It's here in Oklahoma. They're getting a lot of community pushback. I go back to the conversation I had with David Holt, the president of Consumers Energy Alliance. And we can't lose track that we're going to have these things. I mean, I guess it's not a necessity for our everyday life like electricity and water are. However, we can't just sit back and let the world dominate the artificial intelligence realm and us sit back and say, "Oh, hey, it's okay. We'll just let you do it because we'll pay the price." And it'll be a much higher price for our energy, our national security. It's going to be something that, sadly, we're going to have to do. I mean, I'm old. I'm old enough that I don't like I don't like change. I change my underwear, but that's a different story. I'm saying people get into a way of life, and they're like, hey, man, it got that old mentality. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, this isn't something that's broke. This is something that if we fail to go forward, then we are going to fail. So you're failing in two parts. You're failing to take the initiative to stay up with the times. I mean, that would almost be like refusing to go from horse and carriage to a gasoline-powered vehicle. You know, there are a lot of people that when those first came out, they're like, hey, they're too noisy, they're dangerous, they're not reliable. We're going to stick with the old horse because that's what we've done all these years. It's kind of the same thing we're looking at here because this is a new, revolution, if you will, in technology. And we can't sit back. But like I have stated several times, I'll state again, we've got to do the due diligence. And I like what Sand Springs said here. It didn't because like, hey, we're not going to do this because we've got several people crying about it happening. You know, they're like, hey, we haven't got the information that we need from you yet. So let's get that information. And it's information like, okay, how much water are you going to have to consume? What is your plan for electrical generation for your use? I mean, this is almost a 900-acre facility. That's a pretty good chunk of change. You know, and if you don't understand how acreage works, just to give you an idea, that corner out there where they're going to put the planned casino there across from Bar S, that little area right there that is that's fenced off, that's about a little over 40 acres. So this is 900 acres, just short of 900. So yes, you do need a plan, and the developers need to come in and say, hey, here's what we got. Now, David brought up a great point, too, when I was visiting with him, and that is, okay, you've got this company that says, okay, we're going to put this 843-acre data center here, and we're going to require this much electricity. We're going to use this much water, and so we need some help in getting this thing happen. So you give them those tax breaks. You give them those incentives to come to your place. You go out and you develop this acreage so they have sewer and water and electricity and get it all ready, and then it fizzles out. Who's going to be holding the bag for that? Show us a viable plan. Show us how much money you got to make this thing happen and how much money you got if it doesn't happen to reimburse the expense that took to put this thing in. So there's a whole lot of information, and I think that now education is the key, and people are starting to understand that, listen, okay, these things are going to happen, but let's make sure they go in the places that can facilitate that. Let's make sure that those that are wanting to do these projects have the financial backing and the wherewithal to make it happen and fulfill their promises, because as we all know, the older you get, the more you realize promises come cheap. You know, we got to see action. You know, walk the walk, talk the talk. It's easy to talk the talk. You got to walk the walk. So with that being said, we're going to look at more and more of these data centers because it's important. It's important to every one of our everyday lives. It's important to our energy industry. It's really important here in the state of Oklahoma because, you know, they've got that incentive for the behind the meter, and even more so if it's powered by natural gas. Next week, I'm going to have a guy on the show that's going to talk about nuclear and the future of it and some of the bottlenecks and the hurdles that we're going to have to face to try to get there, because even with these small modular reactors, it's not an overnight deal. Now, it doesn't take a decade to build a plant like it does a traditional nuclear power facility, but it's still going to take some time. And if you can't get the parts for it, it's going to take more time. That being said, I'm going to take a break. I'll be back with more of the Thursday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show in a moment.
The Exploring Energy Show.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? The catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for. Of course, they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from all of us at Windy Nissan of Elk City. If you're looking for a great deal on a new or used vehicle, you can find it right here at Windy Nissan. With payments starting as low as $249 a month, no payments up to 90 days, as little as $0 down approvals, and also enjoy up to $7,500 off new 2025 Nissan Pathfinders, Armadas, and Muranos in stock here at Windy Nissan of Elk City. Windy Nissan has a great selection of inventory available with over 200 new and used vehicles to choose from. We have half-ton four-wheel drive pickups. We have diesel four-wheel drive trucks. We have large SUVs. We have small SUVs, your affordable sedans for your first-time drivers. We truly have something for everybody here at Windy Nissan of Elk City, Oklahoma. And with over 30 banks to choose from, we have financing for nearly everyone. You can view all of our inventory right here at 114 Access Road in Elk City, Oklahoma, or at windynissan.com. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. Oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oilfield or agriculture. You needed a hose like yesterday. We will stop what we're doing, and if we got to go to our Oklahoma City shop and get it, we'll do that. And I've done that for a lot of my customers. The business I've done with Oilfield, they got to see your face. Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever the customer prefers, that's what we're going to do. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings. In the oilfield, sometimes you get a call for a crazy, hey, can you get this? And you go find it for them. American Hose and Supply. Come by and see us at 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123.
Solves that problem.
Catch me, Paragon News Director Jared Atha, with the latest local news at 5 p.m. every Monday through Friday. Presented by Mickey Lively, your Farm Bureau agent in Greer County.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
The show brought to you in part by David Allen Guest, certified mineral manager. Guy has been doing it for nearly 50 years. A guy you can trust, a guy you're going to be glad you're doing business with. And as I've said, I'll continue to say, he is an investment, not an expense. He'll get you the most out of your royalties. He can help you through this entire, always changing quagmire of a process. It's not easy. He understands it, however. He'll make it easy for you. Give you your time back that you spent doing it. And if you spent no time doing it, then he'll do it and get you the most out of your royalties. If you find yourself in a situation you need to liquidate, you need to sell, well, David can help you with those. He's a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. Guy that will give you a fair shake. Call him today, just if you're looking for information. He'll be glad to help you and tell you what he knows. 405-341-8698. David Allen Guest, certified mineral manager. 405-341-8698. And he is on the interweb. Just look him up, David Allen Guest. Sustaining Oklahoma's energy resources, part of the OERB, continuing to educate our industry. This morning they're having that AI, robotics, and future of data management in the energy industry class. The next one will be Tier 2 reporting January the 14th, so after the first of the year. But this training covers the purpose and requirements of the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act Tier 2 reporting program, emphasizing when and how facilities must report their hazardous chemical inventories in Oklahoma. That's going to be a big one, too. That's going to be January the 14th. Get yourself registered to attend now or anytime between now and end of business on January the 13th. Sustaining Oklahoma's energy resources. Go to www.soer.oerb.com and click on producer educational opportunities at the top of the page. Producer education. Then there's a drop down and it says workshop schedule. Click on that and go right there. It'll show you all the workshops they got coming up. You click on a blue button, register here, boom, you're in. It's that easy. That is Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, a proud supporter of the show. And Camrock farmers use a lot of Earl all the time, oil field companies. Farmers use a lot of oil every season. Camrock's oil, same specification, lubricates those motors, those engines the same as the designer brands, but Camrock oil costs a whole lot less. Folks who use a lot of oil save a lot of money with Camrock. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City next to Fred's Steakhouse. Online, Camrock Supply, C-A-M-Rock, CamrockSupply.com. Locations in Elk City, Oklahoma City, Midland, Texas, Ulysses, Kansas. 3 local guys with local ties just doing business with their community. That's Camrock Supply next to Fred's Steakhouse. Okay. There's a big LNG project, a big pipeline being proposed for Alaska. Okay, so Alaska's LNG steel deal with Korea sparked some Made in America debate. Industry groups are raising questions over reports that a major share of the steel for the planned 807-mile Alaska LNG pipeline could come from South Korea's POSCO International under partnership announced by Glenn Farney Energy Transition in early December. Now, the Coalition for the Prosperous America is raising alarm over reports that steel for this Alaska proposed 807-mile pipeline for natural gas could be fabricated in South Korea, arguing the move undermines U.S. manufacturing and national security priorities. This claim stems from the recently announced partnership between Glenn Farney Energy Transition and POSCO International to supply the pipeline materials for the Alaskan LNG project. So basically, Glenn Farney Energy Transition is, turnkeying some of this stuff. The project, which would move North Slope gas to an export terminal on Alaska's Kenai Peninsula, remains a pre-FID development. CPA intends that the use of Korean fabricated large-diameter welded pipe contradicts the intent of the Trump administration's 50% steel tariff, citing weaknesses in the ad valorem tariff structure that could allow tariff evasion through foreign declarations. So the American industrial backbone can be hollowed out even while building out American energy infrastructure, CPA President John Toomey said, warning that the reliance on imported steel for critical projects threatens U.S. jobs and supply chains resilience. As reported by the CPA, the group is urging the administration to convert ad valorem duties on fabricated steel and aluminum into specific tariffs based on weight or count, a move, it says, would close the loopholes that encourage offshore manufacturing. So this Alaska LNG project being advanced by Glenn Farney Energy Transition is expected to include that 807-mile, 42-inch gas pipeline from Alaska's North Slope to a liquefaction and export terminal near Kenai. I'm going to have to get a little more information than I was able to get here out of the Pipeline and Gas Journal. You know, there for a while, back when I was pushing the old pipe valves and fittings, the domestic pipe wasn't as good as the foreign-made pipe because they cut corners. And so the pipe and the heat numbers that were coming out of Korea, coming out of South America, honestly, out of China, had less rejection rates. Because, you know, especially on these big pipeline jobs, that pipe has to be inspected and go through a rigorous, approval process before it's used. And then after you get it out to the job site and they start looking at how some of that stuff was, and, it's things have changed, I know. But the America steel industry and the pipe manufacturing has taken such a step backwards because of previous administrations, just downright treasonous acts to get everything overseas and then not put any tariffs on them, has set the United States steel industry back. Now, I think it is coming back. I just don't know how long it's going to take it to get to where it's going to be viable again. So, you look at this, 42-inch pipe and 800 some miles of it. You need to go someplace with great pipe, where you got the better pipe. However, I do understand that, close some of those loopholes, make some situations to where if we're going to get it from them, they're going to have to, there's going to be a tariff cost on it. I'm all about these tariffs. A lot of people were like, oh, that's going to make all of our food go sky high. Hell, our food was already sky high, for crying out loud. And then now we're getting money back from these countries that have taken advantage of us for so many years. And the reason they were able to take advantage was very simple. They took that money and they put it in the pockets of politicians that were making, the rules. And so they didn't have to pay the tariffs. They just gave these guys and gals this extra money, and they passed legislation and laws and regulations to favor those countries. And Trump says, hey, listen, I'm a businessman. That's bad business. A guy that was in regular business couldn't do that. And we as Americans shouldn't have to do that. And so I think these people need to pay these tariffs. And they need to pay them to the United States of America. And we need to take that money and do something good for America. For far too long, we've been taken advantage of. And now that Trump has brought that to the forefront, people are just now starting to understand what that means. But I can remember when he first started speaking of tariffs, the left started screaming their heads off that it was going to raise the prices on everything and the supply chains, and people are going to quit doing business with the United States. These other countries can't afford to not do business with us. We have too many people that buy that crap. Their crap. Well, pay your just due. You want a seat at the table, buy a ticket. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll be back with more of the oil and gas today's top stories right here on the Exploring Energy Radio Show after this.
This is the Exploring Energy Show. Timber Oklahoma is your safe and reliable expert tree care service. At Timber, we provide professional tree trimming and removal with a focus on safety, quality, and clear communication. With over 10 years of experience and certified in the Electrical Hazards Awareness Program, our crews provide tree trimming and removal, storm damage cleanup, utility line clearance. Call Timber today at 580-732-3400 or see us online at www.timberokla.com or email us at customercare@timberokla.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
This Christmas, shop local. The Depot Trading Company Men's and More store in downtown Elk City is your destination for a great selection of men's clothing, plus the most unique men's, pets, and household gifts, barbecue grills, spices, accessories, and outdoor party gear. Check out their 50% off rack while you're there. The Depot Trading Company Men's and More store, 318 South Main Street in downtown Elk City. This Christmas, come on in and enjoy the ride.
it's Andy Taylor. We're living in some very turbulent times. It's easy to get discouraged in the normal course of life, but the good news is God has all the answers. His presence and companionship always makes all the difference. A big part of what we do at Trinity Fellowship is to help people in the process of coming into relationship with the Father. We'd love to help you. Our services start at 10 a.m. on Sunday. You can find us on our Trinity Fellowship Facebook page, or you can listen right here on KECO at 9:30. We'd love to have you be part of our family.
Hey folks, this is EJ Gretaman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
Find the all-new Ariat FR jeans, pullover shirts, and button-ups at Circle A Western and Outdoor in Elk City, your FRC headquarters.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Show brought to you in part by DCP Services, the Davis family, Jeff Davis, and all that. So, again, they've got the right people with the right services. Roustabout Division, Lease Operators Division, Wireline Division, both braided and slick line capabilities. And they've got their pump repair shop in Cordell. You can get a hold of Jeff Davis at 580-660-0501, or you can get a hold of Jeff Davis by the nape of the neck like Terry has to do every now and again. Just teasing, Jeff. 660-0501. 660-0501. You can also find DCP Services on the Book of Faces. For you to keep making money, your equipment, your machinery has to keep running. American Hose and Supply can help you do that. They'll help you do it. American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building, whether it's high pressure, it's low pressure, it's suction, it's discharge, it doesn't make any difference. Fred's Steakhouse, right next door, Camrock building, home of American Hose and Supply. Call them 303-1123, 303-1123, American Hose and Supply. Go to those who know hose. Right next door, Fred's Steakhouse, another great supporter of this show. And a supporter of good quality food at good prices. Fred's is home of the $4.99 chicken fried steak, served daily, hand-battered country gravy, house-made mashed potatoes. How do they do it? Well, they do it well. I can tell you that. Freshly baked rolls, 7 kinds of chicken. They got seafood. Maybe that's what you crave. Fish tacos. They got grilled salmon. They got grilled and fried shrimp. They got fried catfish, freshwater catfish. They also have appetizers sure to please everyone. Wood chips, fried pickles, cheese curds, mushrooms, Rocky Mountain oysters, just name a few. And you cap off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts. It's all at Fred's, complete with a full-service bar as well. They can host your private event. Got Christmas parties coming up. I had ours last night out at Simon's Catch. It was fantastic, by the way. Thank you, Blake and Amber Brewer. Located at 2107 Fred's Steakhouse. 243-2100. Order online on the Chow Now app. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Kinder Morgan, now that's a name that we're all familiar with. Well, Kinder Morgan expects to ride on LNG power demand growth. Kinder Morgan, Inc. has announced adjusted earnings per share guidance of $1.37 for 2026, with the North American pipeline operator encouraged by growth in the liquefied natural gas and power sectors. This is an increase of 8% versus its adjusted EPS forecast for 2025. For 2026, adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, EBITDA, Kinder Morgan expects $8.7 billion, up 4% compared to its guidance for 2025. And I quote, "The outlook reflects continued execution on expansion projects in our natural gas pipelines business segment," Chief Executive Officer Kim Dang said in an online statement. "We're projecting an annualized dividend of about $1.19 for 2026, marking the 9th consecutive year of dividend increases." So the Houston-based owner of the oil and gas pipelines and terminals, which also produces oil and renewable natural gas, plans nearly $3.4 billion in discretionary capital expense next year, substantially funded from internally generated cash flow. Kinder Morgan President Tom Martin said, "We expect to continue benefiting from strong natural gas market fundamentals, supporting growth on our existing transportation and storage assets and creating expansion opportunities." And you can remember this the Brandon administration, they were attacking natural gas, even to the point where, hey, we're not even going to let you put a natural gas stove in a house or in a new building that you're building. Natural gas has finally been categorized as clean fuel because it has the least amount of emissions than any other type of fossil fuel or coal, oil. You know, it's diesel generation, all this. Natural gas, it's it. Now, the renewables, the intermittent, like solar, wind, yes, they have their place, and they will continue to. And we need what extra they're doing. But that is not reliable. That is intermittent energy. People are like, oh, man, the sun shines a lot. The wind blows every day here. I understand that. But unlike natural gas-powered generation, electrical generation, doesn't require the sun to shine. It doesn't require the wind to blow. Okay, and so nuclear, and again, you know, I mentioned that I'm going to have a guest this next week that's in the nuclear energy industry, and he's going to be talking about the future of that. They are working on it right now to get it up and going, but it's not going to be something that's going to be up and going next year or the year after that. These things are going to take time. They're going to take time to get the permits. They're going to take time to get the parts to make them work. It's going to take time to get the land to put them where they need to be. It's not like these things are on skids and they can just run one out there, stick it on location. It starts providing nuclear powered generation. You know, that's not how this deal works. It'd be much easier if it were like that, but it's not. So natural gas is it. It's it for not only us, it's it for the world. And we've got an abundant supply of it. And so, you know, and there are those, and I'm starting to find out more information about this, about how natural gas underground is reoccurring. It didn't just come from all the dinosaurs dying and you know, we bottled up all that flatulence and caught it in shale formations and it came out. That they're saying that, you know, just the constant pressure of the earth, the constant nutrients going down in the ground is going to continue to produce natural gas. Now, I'm not jumping out there and telling you that it's renewing itself at a fast pace. I'm wanting to try to find out more about the science, and they're just now starting to come out with reports about this kind of thing. Where before, you know, it's just like, hey, if you found it, there it is. And it's gonna play out eventually. Now, will it renew itself to the level that we're taking it? Probably not. However, the worldwide and even just in the United States abundance of natural gas, we have some. And one report that I came across said that, you know, for the next 300 years, you know, so it's hopefully the second coming of our Lord Jesus Christ will happen before that happens, because if we need to continue to lean on God as far as what our nation and what direction it's going in, because it's as we all know, it's not very good right now. It is getting better. I agree with that, but sometimes it's just bigger than what we can do, and so I just offer that we need to continue to pray for our nation and its so-called leaders. The other thing, I'm going to go back to this natural gas deal. More and more people are understanding that it is easy, a lot easier, quicker to get permits, to get the natural gas to where it needs to go, and to get a gas-fired power plant. Now, back to my conversation with David Holt. He did say that there are some supply issues as far as the turbines, okay? So they burn the natural gas. That heat turns turbines. Those turbines create electricity. And so if you don't have access to the turbines, then you're not going to be able to get electricity from natural gas. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's just like the wind industry. If you can't get the turbine blades, you can't harness the wind. It's like the solar energy. If you can't get the photovoltaic cells, you're not going to be able to capture the sun and turn it into heat and then ultimately electricity. So it's a conundrum, but it's one that right now the United States is leading the energy sector. It came out this week that President Trump is going to lease more offshore in the Gulf of America and offshore on the Atlantic side and the Pacific side. Going to auction those things off, and people, they're going to spend that money. They're going to develop. They're going to go and develop it. So, with that being said, we are continuing to lead the energy industry in the world right now, and we need to continue to get better at it. Stay efficient. Don't get complacent. Don't put the cruise control on. Don't automatically think that self-driving car is going to make all the right decisions. Quick note on that. If you've ever been in one, it's kind of weird because when you're passing a semi, they kind of inch over toward that semi. I think it's because of the wind displacement that those semis make. And that's something that this thing takes, the analytics of this AI driving machine takes into consideration. But it just seems kind of funny that it's kind of veers over. I mean, it doesn't run right up next to it, but it's still one of those things like, ooh, still don't trust that all I can. But there you have it. It's you never know. I'm going to take a quick break. My lovely assistant has joined me here in the studio. We're going to have your weather forecast, which it looks pretty good today. We're going to have energy stock prices and energy news in my briefs. As the mop-up segment of the Thursday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show, we'll be right back.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe, and it never fails. Every time I visit this state and talk to the folks in the energy business, I learn something world-changing. The technology here is bleeding edge, and so is the focus on the environment. As for the people, they're among the smartest, most innovative, most talented workers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting anywhere. They're busy keeping our modern life going. Not a bad career choice, if you ask me. See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
This Christmas, be sure and visit Dameron Jewelers in downtown Elk City and enjoy savings throughout the store. You'll find Western Oklahoma's finest selection of diamonds, plus custom jewelry pieces, Fossil, Baby G, G-Shock, and Citizens men's and women's watches, unique gift ideas, and more. Holiday hours, they'll be open every Monday through Saturday after Thanksgiving through December 20th, and open Sunday, December 21st from 1 to 5, and Christmas Eve from 9 to 4. Remember, this holiday season, shop local, shop smart, shop Elk City, and shop Dameron Jewelers in downtown Elk City, where they're famous for diamonds.
Need to dig it? Then it's time to rent it. But call 811 first and then head on over to DJ's Rentals and Sales and let their knowledgeable staff help you get it started. Whether it's a backhoe, a post hole digger, a mini excavator, or a skid steer that you need to help make that job a little easier. You can find them all and more at DJ's Rentals and Sales, 911 South Main Street in Elk City. Text them on the text line at 580-799-7214. Find and follow them on Facebook. And don't forget to call 811 first.
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavors 7 days a week. The grill is always hot and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
You got 5-6 tractors out there. You got a dozer, a trackhoe, a grader, something like that. I mean, you go through a lot of oil in the season. I mean, you'll use a few hundred gallons in a season. So here at Shamrock, we have the same specification oil as the other brand, where people think that they have to use that for a certain color on their tractors and stuff like that. But we have the same oil specifications as they do. Works just as well, does the same thing, lubes it just the same. Price comparison is, it's not even a comparison. we have a better price than anybody around on that type of oil. They can come in and talk to us, see what they want, or give us a call, and we can come out, see what they have, fill their tanks, set them tanks. That's what we've done here in the past. We've converted a lot of farmers over to our brand, our house brand of motor diesel oil. The price savings it's huge for them. We sell it to oilfield companies also. They use it in frac pumps, and they're not happy, you know it, and it's working great for them. Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse. The price savings it's huge for them.
Fine Line wants your car, and they're going to pay you for it. Top dollar. Call Steve Jones at Fine Line, 225-9111, 225-9111. Make some money.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
All righty then. All right, let's get this going here. We'll center you up there, young lady. This show brought to you in part by ASCO Equipment, 513 West 20th Street. You hear E.J. Gredeman talk about ASCO. He is on the equipment rental side, but like he said, he and Bart and Jeremy and all the people that work out there, they work in tandem. They work as a team. So basically, whoever you talk to can get you the right information. If you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent in Oklahoma, ASCO, they're your logical choice. They'll work with you. Proudly serving Elk City with construction equipment like tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, compactors, pavers, skid steers, and more. ASCO Equipment sells, rents, and provides parts and service for ag, construction, material handling, and mining equipment at 27 locations throughout Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. 200 factory-trained certified technicians, 140 field service trucks, $221 million worth of equipment parts in stock, and they have flexible rental rate options, lease, purchase kind of options, just great things. So tell ASCO we sent you. 513 West 20th Street. Call them at 323-3422 or online, ASCOEQ.com, ASCOEQ.com. And this hour's weather forecast brought to you as a service of Carter Electric, owned and operated by Kervin and Mary Orgain. They help you see the light of day even at night. You want to make sure your power stays on regardless of the weather? Well, Carter Electric is an authorized Generac generator dealer. They can size it, they can sell it to you, they can install it, they can come back and service it. And if your power goes out on your side of the meter, no matter when, 24-hour emergency electrical service, Carter Electric. A lot of electric work goes on overhead. Carter Electric understands it. They have pole trucks, man lifts to get way up high if there't a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric. 225-2447. 225-2447. Providing you this hour's weather forecast. What do you got over there, sister?
Today we are sunny with a high near 68, south-southwest wind 10 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, clear with a low around 41, south-southwest wind 5 to 11 miles per hour, becoming north after midnight. Friday, sunny with a high near 57, northeast wind 10 to 17 miles per hour with gusts as high as 26. Saturday, sunny with a high near 57, south wind 6 to 13 miles per hour, becoming east in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 20. Sunday, sunny with a high near 38. Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 57. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 61. And Wednesday, sunny with a high near 65.
Whew, the 60s be coming back. And then it's supposed to start getting cold after that, I understand. So.
Great.
But we'll take what we can get, right, sis?
Yes.
No doubt about it. Energy news in my briefs. Well, the Trump administration dramatically escalated its standoff with Venezuela on Wednesday by seizing a large tanker loaded with crude oil bound for Cuba. The exact details of the seizure, first reported by Bloomberg, are unclear, and administration officials could not be reached for comment. The tanker seizure also targets longtime Cuba and close Venezuelan ally, longtime U.S. adversary, Havana. They sell, Venezuelan crude oil on the black market, chiefly to Asian markets and ultimately to China. Senate Energy and Natural, in fact, I was reading this deal, and that's the largest tanker ever taken over, Wow. And it's not like we ran up there with our guns ablazing in our boats. We just said, hey, listen, you're hauling sanctioned oil to one of our adversaries, and that's a no-no. And this is what happens when you break those rules. So it wasn't like they didn't know what they were doing. Senate Energy and Natural Resources Ranking Member Martin Heinrich, Environmental and Public Works, Ranking Member Sheldon Whitehouse, Hawaii Senator Brian Schatz came out against passing the SPEED Act, a bill that would change the National Environmental Policy Act, citing concerns about how it would apply to renewable energy and transmission development priorities. Environmental advocates say 2 planned data centers in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, bring uncertainty to the community and concerns about rising utility rates. As President Donald Trump prepares this week to release an executive order aimed at blocking states from regulating artificial intelligence, congressional Democrats are countering with a new commission to deepen their engagement within the industry. The U.S. Air Force is turning to artificial intelligence to boost its war games. The Air Force wants a cloud-based AI-powered digital sandbox as a hub to generate and run war games that speeds up to 10,000 times faster than real time, according to a recent request for information. NextEra Energy and Basic Electric plan to develop a 1,450 megawatt gas plant in North Dakota as part of a broader build-out of power generation and data center supply hubs. DTE Energy tells investors that it expects the Michigan Public Service Commission to approve controversial power supply contracts for a $7 billion hyperscale data center on December 18th as additional data center negotiations continue. Here's some from around the world. India plans to continue buying cheap crude oil from Russia, despite sanctions imposed on major Russian oil companies by the United States and Europe. India Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with Russian President Vladimir Putin for the Russia-India annual bilateral summit in New Delhi last week, during which Putin said Russia's ready for uninterrupted shipments of fuel to India. Realloys moves to front of rare earth sector, not the real McCoys, but Real Alloys, which is in the process of merging with Black Box Stocks, Inc., has moved to the front of the rare earth sector with a new agreement that gives it control over the lion's share of North America's upcoming heavy rare earth productions. Chinese rare earth producer Ningbo Kitan Copper said Wednesday it had secured, streamlined licenses for magnet production exports. The new general licenses allow more exports under year-long permits for individual consumers, following an agreement after a meeting between China's President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Donald Trump in late October. You don't realize how much magnets, are used in the world today, and not just to pick stuff up, but I'm talking about the MRI and those in the medical industry. It's crazy. But anyway, that's some energy news in my briefs. What do you got over there for stock price? Are you going to give us good news?
No.
Good gravy, woman. What do you got?
American Electric Power is up 67 cents, trading at 114.83. Apache is down 24 cents at 26.08. Baker Hughes is down 66 cents at 47.38. ConocoPhillips is down 11 cents at 96.69. Devon Energy is down 46 cents at 37.93. EOG Resources is up 18 cents at 111.60. Expand Energy is down $2.45, trading at 114.25. General Electric is down 75 cents at 282.70. Halliburton is down 2.5 cents at $29. Hallmark and Payne is down 24 cents at 30.21. Liberty Energy is down 45 cents at 19.74. Occidental Petroleum is down 32 cents, trading at 41.43. OG&E Energy is up 40 cents at 43.28. ONEOK is up 57 cents at 74.32. Phillips 66 is up 8.5 cents at 143.91. Sandridge Energy is down 16 cents at 14.98. Schlumberger is up 31 cents at 40.25, and Williams Companies is up 28 cents, trading at 60.76.
Okay, here we go. We got some sports coming your way. Big Elk TV basketball is underway. The boys down at the Childress Invitational. Today, they play at noon. Okay, they play at noon against Holiday, Texas, and then 4 o'clock tomorrow. And they'll play the winner between Ropes, Texas, and I can't even read my own. Iowa Parish. So, yeah, That's who they play tomorrow at 4. But today at noon, you can catch all that action on BigElkTV.com. Of course, their game Saturday will depend on, or maybe even 2 games tomorrow, depending on win or lose. Here's a lot of ParagonTV.com games coming up. South Central Canadian Classic. Today, Cheyenne-Raiden, girls versus Viside 10. Cheyenne-Raiden, boys versus Balco Forgan at 4:15. Arapahoe Butler, girls versus Lokiba Sickles at 3 p.m. Arapahoe boys versus Leedy at 6:45 p.m. Leedy girls versus Balco Forgan at 5:30 p.m. That's at the South Canadian Classic. The best of the Southwest Tournament, Eric girls at Boys City at 8:20 p.m. Chattanooga Tournament, it's the Sentinel girls versus Granfield at 1:10. Sentinel boys versus Fletcher at 2:30. Washita State Bank Classic. And there you have it. Have yourself a great day.
I'm CJ Papa. Dueling healthcare plans will come up for a vote in the Senate today. Democrats want a 3-year extension of Obamacare subsidies. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso earlier on Fox and Friends.
The Democrats are coming to the Senate today to do another bailout of Obamacare.
Democrats say the Republican plan is dead on arrival. What led to Michigan suddenly firing head football coach Shawn Moore?
Moore, who has a wife and 3 daughters, was fired by the school after 2 seasons because it said it had evidence that he was having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Well, cops have now released a statement saying that they had responded to investigate an alleged assault and taken a